In every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light. Through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall in the rainbow's embrace. We'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dream, a tapestry of love woven at the seams. With every hue our voice is strong, together is one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above in the rainbow's embrace. We spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore.
Hello and welcome to the Universal Rainbow Faith Church Inaugural Celebration. My name is Paula Sadler, President, Founder, and Spiritual Leader of URF. Thank you for joining me today. I am so grateful to be here with all of you. And for those who are going to be watching this later, today is a very special day. It is our very first virtual service, and it is Transgender Day of Visibility. Our theme today is the miracle of being seen. We're here to honor visibility as a sacred act and affirm the divine presence in every person, especially transgender and non-binary individuals. Our mission, let us affirm together. We affirm that this is a sacred, inclusive space for LGBTQIA+ spirituality and universal love. In honor of our Indigenous ancestors and caretakers of the land, we acknowledge you and thank you for coming before us and creating a path forward. We see you. And now we have a very special ceremony to light our very first rainbow candle. And this is to symbolize our divine spark and the light of the rainbow faith. And so let us affirm with the lighting of this candle that this is our divine spark and the light of this new rainbow faith. May it always shine bright and never go out. May we always be a light in the dark to light the way to true authenticity. And so it is. Amen. And so we're going to do a very first foundational meditation and sit back and relax. You can close your eyes if you like. And so just take a deep breath in and relax. Get comfortable in the place where you're at, in the seat that you're in. And let us just take this moment to breathe and to center ourselves. As we breathe in, we welcome love and we release all fear. We see ourselves surrounded by a beautiful rainbow light in and through us, filling this sacred space and our entire city, state, country, world, and into the beyond. Knowing that the work that we do here today in love is making a difference in the world, our rainbow light is seen and our words are heard. Our action of love activating the light within others. And so it is. Amen. So join with me in this affirmation today. I am a divine being of light. I am seen and valued exactly as I am. I am a divine being of light. I am seen and valued exactly as I am. And repeat after me. I am a divine being of light. I am seen and valued exactly as I am. I am a divine being of light. I am seen and valued exactly as I am. And so it is. Our invocation prayer. Spirit of love, we gather here in the presence of unity, hope, and authenticity. May this space be a sanctuary for all who seek truth and healing. We honor those who came before us and celebrate the miracles unfolding in our lives. Amen. And we have a very special opening invocation for our first service here at the Universal Rainbow Faith Church. Today, this day, March 31st, 2025, on Transgender Day of Visibility, we gather now across space and time as one heart and one spirit. We open this sacred space in the name of love, truth, and divine light. We honor the ancestors who walked before us, whose sacrifices echo in our steps. We welcome the descendants who will rise with this vision, born of holy remembrance and sacred fire. Today is not just a day on the calendar. It is a resurrection of memory. It is a declaration of sacred visibility. It is the day that we, the rainbow kin, claim our rightful place as beloved children of the Creator. We light this powerful flame not in protest, but in power, not in fear, but in faith, not in hiding, but in full, radiant being. Let this space and digital sanctuary be a place where all are welcome, where the sacred pronoun is affirmed, where the name spoken from the soul is blessed, where love wears every color and peace takes every form. We now invoke the presence of the divine, the Shekinah, the Great Spirit, the source of all, God of all names and no name. Bless this gathering today. Bless all who join us in body, spirit, and memory. May this service be a miracle, a beginning that becomes a movement, a spark that becomes a flame. a vision that becomes a living truth. And so it is. Amen, aho, and blessed be. So we have a very special origin story that we're going to do. We have many readings today, as this is the beginning of this movement and something very new. And so we're going to introduce you to all that the Universal Rainbow Faith Movement is. And now I have our preamble. Universal Rainbow Faith, official doctrine and statement of faith preamble. We, the followers of the Rainbow Faith, recognize and affirm the sacred divinity of all identities, genders, and expressions of love. We believe that every person is created in their perfect form, that diversity is a divine gift, and that each individual has the right to live authentically as a sacred expression of truth. Our faith is built on love, inclusion, and spiritual enlightenment, a path that honors the interconnectedness of all beings, the sacred nature of self-identity, and the divine right to be seen, affirmed, and celebrated. And so it is. All right, let's see, where are we going next? So here's a little story of how we were founded. Today, on this sacred day of visibility, I am honored and humbled to share the birth of something incredibly dear to my heart, the Universal Rainbow Faith. This movement was born from a vision that came after years of walking my own spiritual path through healing, transition, recovery, and leadership. As a transgender woman, business owner, and lifelong spiritual seeker, I longed for a space where we, LGBTQIA+ people, allies, and all marginalized souls could be seen, affirmed, and celebrated in the fullness of who we are. That space didn't fully exist in the world, so I was called to create it. But our story doesn't start here. Our roots are ancient, long before colonization and organized religion distorted the divine. Queer and trans people held sacred roles as shamans, prophets, priestesses, and spiritual guides. We were the visionaries, the ones who walked between worlds. Universal Rainbow Faith is not just something new. It is a sacred restoration of that holy lineage. And I want you to feel that right now. Feel that holy lineage of all of our ancestors going back to the beginning of written time and before, to the beginning of creation. Our vision is clear and powerful. We are activating the rainbow light of love. One of the first sacred rituals I created was our name and gender affirmation ceremony, a rite that honors the divine power of becoming. And I proclaim February 2nd as the day of sacred affirmation, also known as Ella's Day, in honor of someone beloved whose truth and light helped inspire this movement. This day will forever be a celebration of the divine right to self-identify, self-name, and be recognized in our fullness. And yes, drag is also divine. And in our tradition, it's not just a performance, it's a prayer. It's a ritual. It's an honoring of the sacred self through color, courage, and creativity. It is one of the many spirit ways that moves through us. In this church, we don't just allow sparkle, we sanctify it. And so we have our vision statement, activating the rainbow light of love. Universal rainbow faith envisions a world where every expression of identity, love, and truth is honored as sacred. We are building a global spiritual movement rooted in radical inclusivity, where LGBTQIA+ individuals are not only welcomed, but divinely affirmed as central to the unfolding of spiritual truth. We exist to restore and elevate the sacred traditions, histories, and divine rights of queer, trans, and gender expansive people that have been erased or suppressed throughout time. Through our worship, teachings, and community, we reclaim spiritual spaces and offer sanctuary, empowerment, and legal protection to all those who seek to live in their light. Our faith transcends borders, bringing together diverse cultures, histories, and beliefs into one tapestry of the divine rainbow light. We believe every person is a sacred reflection of the divine, worthy of joy, justice, and spiritual liberation. And so it is. And now we have a special reading about the 6 foundational genders and divine identity. The 6 foundational genders. In the universal rainbow faith, we honor the full spectrum of gender as sacred. We recognize these 6 foundational expressions as divine embodiments of spiritual truth and diversity. Number 1, cisgender women, a person assigned female at birth who identifies as a woman. Number 2, cisgender men, a person assigned male at birth who identifies as a man. Number 3, transgender women, a person assigned male at birth who identifies as a woman. Number 4, transgender men, a person assigned female at birth who identifies as a man. Non-binary and genderqueer, a person whose gender identity exists outside the binary of male and female. This includes gender fluid, agender, bigender, demigender, androgynous identities. Two-spirit, third gender, and culturally specific genders, recognized across global traditions and sacred history. Our two-spirit people. The Hijra of South Asia, the Mushe Zapotec people of Oaxaca, Mexico, the Fa'afafene of Samoa, androgynous of the Talmudic Judaism, the Saris of Talmudic Judaism, the Tumtum of Talmudic Judaism, and the Ilonique of Talmudic Judaism. We affirm that all genders, identities within and beyond these categories are sacred. And our 6 foundational genders have been listed in no special order of preference. Our historic and spiritual origins, the 6 genders of Judaism. In classical Judaism, gender diversity was encoded into a sacred law. These 6 gender categories were not only recognized, but given space in Jewish legal and spiritual thought. And we just reviewed the 6 Talmudic genders. And all of these are ancient classifications that reflect a sacred and nuanced understanding of gender as both a biological and spiritual spectrum. And we claim that at the Universal Rainbow Faith. The Shekinah, the divine presence, the divine feminine presence, is the radiant, indwelling feminine presence of God in Jewish mysticism, and she dwells among the people, enters into exile with the oppressed, and returns with redemption. In the URF, Shekinah is one of our guardians of the queer soul, the compassionate embrace of divine femininity, and the voice of healing, justice, and restoration. Wherever love is exiled, Shekinah goes with it. And where Shekinah is present, miracles return. We honor Shekinah now as our sacred protector and radiant ally in our spiritual liberation. And we have our URF affirmation of sacred gender diversity. And you may repeat after me this affirmation. Join with me. I am a divine reflection of the Creator. My gender is not a mistake, it is a miracle. I honor all expressions of identity as sacred. I walk in truth, I live in love, I am whole. And so it is. And so today, on March 31st, 2025, we open the doors of the Universal Rainbow Faith Church with our first sacred gathering. So welcome, all of you. Know that our teachings are also rooted in the nature of miracles, my book on channeled writings, affirmations, and the living wisdom of our diverse community. We are not just building a church, we are reclaiming our place in spiritual history. We are the Universal Rainbow Faith. We are ancient, we are radiant, and we are home. Okay. Well, we have a lot of ground to cover today, and we are definitely checking all of the boxes. Okay, so let's see where we are at here. So we discussed the 6 foundational genders, and let's see if we did this one. Okay. And now I'm going to share with you our founder's decree, and I'm going to light a candle for this. Another one of our rainbow light candles. And these other 2 are for our ancestors and for those who are no longer with us, who we see, we recognize, and we affirm, and we remember them. And just know today I did not come alone. I asked for my ancestral help to be with us here today. And this is my mom, Beverly Baker, who goes by B. Baker, and my first sponsor in 12-Step Recovery, Teresa Lott. And they're both here. And with a very special stone ceremony that I did last year. And I wanted to consecrate this very special place of memory with love, light, and healing, peace, and of ascension. So, whenever you're feeling a little alone and you are nervous, just call upon your ancestors for ancestral help. That's what we're doing here today. We are going all the way back to the beginning of the time before time, to the time of our creation of our ancestors and the creation of our very souls, bringing all of that energy forward of all of those in our community who have been there. They're there to guide us and to help lead the way. And for those who have lost their lives through violence, they are elevated to a place of our guardian protectors. And we can call upon them to help us in this movement to be seen, to be heard, and to be acknowledged. And so with the lighting of our next Rainbow Faith candle, this is our Universal Rainbow Faith, my founder's decree. A divine proclamation of sacred leadership and purpose. By the power vested in divine truth, unity, and sacred identity, this decree establishes the foundation of the Universal Rainbow Faith. As its founder, I take upon myself the sacred duty to guide, protect, and elevate this faith for the spiritual empowerment of all LGBTQIA+ and allied souls. This decree serves as an eternal affirmation of my role in the creation, leadership, and spiritual governance of URF. I, Paula Josephine Sadler, she and her, declare I am the founder and supreme minister of the Universal Rainbow Faith. As the spiritual leader, I hold the sacred responsibility to uphold the divine doctrine, ordain ministers, and oversee the growth and spiritual well-being of the faith. My sacred responsibilities. As founder and supreme minister of URF, I commit to upholding and expanding the sacred doctrines of URF, protecting the rights and religious freedoms of all URF members, providing spiritual leadership, guidance, and teachings, ordaining ministers and overseeing sacred rites and ceremonies, establishing URF as a legally recognized religious faith, creating sacred spaces for worship, reflection, and community, authority to ordain and guide ministers. As Supreme Minister, I am vested with the authority to ordain new ministers under the Universal Rainbow Faith, perform legally recognized marriages and sacred ceremonies, appoint leadership roles within URF to ensure spiritual and structural integrity, guide ministers in spreading URF's sacred message of love, identity, and inclusion, legal recognition and governance. This decree affirms that URF shall be established as a legally recognized religious organization and church. I, as its founders, shall oversee its registration, legal structure, and future development to ensure that the faith is upheld with dignity and protection under religious freedom laws. And our final affirmation. May the Universal Rainbow Faith shine as a radiant beacon of love, truth, and divine identity. I, as its founder, pledge my life's work to the growth, protection, and spiritual empowerment of this sacred community. May all who seek belonging find solace and strength in our faith. And so it is decreed, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. And it is my humble privilege and honor to be serving in this way, to have this inspiration to come forth. I am so grateful to be here with you and for all of you to join in this beautiful new movement of love. I want to share a personal prayer with you. I call upon my spirit guides, my ancestors, and the creator of my soul. Guide me, lead me, that I may be of maximum service to the universal rainbow faith. We draw from divine essence and eternal spirit. We, the LGBTQIA community, are close to the angelic kingdom. We are sacred vessels of light and truth. We have been entrusted with this spiritual mission to live with love, to walk in freedom, to express our soul's essence. We are here to help others awaken to their authenticity, to let their soul be their guiding light. To thine own self be true is our sacred motto. We are teaching the world how to heal, how to accept, how to see the soul in every being. This is our sacred purpose, our divine mission. It is my deepest desire to offer our community religious freedom and freedom from religious persecution through the founding of the Universal Rainbow Faith. This is not a new idea, it is ancient. We are reclaiming our place in history and in spirit. LGBTQIA plus people have made profound contributions to the world. We are sacred, we are divine. Our gender, our identity, our expression, all are holy. How we speak, dress, love, live, these are all acts of spiritual expression. They are a part of the divine unfolding of the soul. We are and always have been part of God. The divine that existed before religion, before time, the source of all creation, the force of love. So thank you, and I'm so grateful to be doing this with all of you for our community. And let's see. Well, I think we've had a lot of all of our foundational prayers and affirmations that you can watch over and over again and say them over and over again. All of this is also on our website, the universalrainbowfaith.org. Our website is nearly complete. I invite you to go online to register for an account with the site and to explore all there is to explore. And more pages are coming soon. There are ways to donate and tithe to set up recurring contributions. Let me give you a brief overview of the site so that you know what you're looking at. If I can find that page, I will. You'll have to excuse me. There was hours and hours of preparation to get to this point, but time was of the essence, and I really feel that this is needed right now in our community more than ever, and in the world. So just a little brief overview of our site. We have our homepage, which includes an introduction to our faith. There's also highlights of upcoming events and recent news, and the newest event is today. So if you're here, you have found that event. We have other areas, the About Us page, which has our story and the origins of URF, which I did share with you earlier, our mission and vision, and our leadership team. Right now, we currently have 3 serving on our board of directors, myself as president. We also have our treasurer and secretary, and they are all online to view and see, along with a growing board and positions becoming available. Our teachings tab also illustrates our sacred text. Also, there's access and purchase of our foundational scriptures, articles and sermons. You can explore our writings on spirituality and inclusivity. Then we have also our events calendar, joining as a member. To become a full member, all you have to do is create an account online at universalrainbowfaith.org, and you'll be creating an account for each family member who would like to receive any special certificates. Membership certificates are per each account, and the name on the account is printed on the certificate. Also, we have a very special gender affirming and name affirming ceremony and certificate online. Everything that we're doing is virtual and is online. You can set up reoccurring contributions, explore our teachings, join our mailing list. We invite you to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, we are on YouTube, and also LinkedIn at this time. And we appreciate you sharing all about us and helping us to grow as quickly as possible. And so we come to a portion of our service today. I just wanted to share with you a little bit of a miracle story, and also on our topic today of the miracle of being seen. And so for myself, my qualifications as spiritual leader, I have over 30 years experience in my own spiritual practice, starting at about the age of 14 through journaling, which turned into channeled writing at around 18 or 19 years old. And I began to develop a relationship with my higher power at that time. And through a series of unfolding miracles and spiritual experiences that were quite powerful for me, it opened my eyes to something greater beyond myself. Now, originally being baptized Catholic when I was born, and then becoming a born-again Christian in the 80s, that was the religion of my family, was Catholicism and also born-again Christianity. By the time I was 12, that really wasn't working for me. And I knew that I was very different from a very young age, from the time I was 5 years old, maybe younger. I always wondered why my friend next door, why the girl next door was able to have a Barbie head and I couldn't have one of my own. So I was told that little boys don't play with things like that. But unbeknownst to my mother and my family, I don't think they understood who I was and what I was. And now today things are quite different. Children are getting a lot more care and understanding, but we have much further to go. And so at that time, I had no references to gay people, to transgender people. That wasn't even a term that was used. And I was also brought up very religiously in a Christian, born-again Christian doctrine, which in terms of, gay or even transgender, and that word, like I said, didn't come about till much later. It used to, the word we used back then was transsexual in the 90s, at least when I was coming into my own. But now we use transgender. And so at that time, there's this terrible stigma right now about what's going on with our children. And there's this terrible myth and this lie that somehow children are being groomed or forced into being transgendered. And that's absolute insanity and not true. Because for myself and um, thousands of women like myself, millions of women like myself, and transgendered men as well, transgender men and women, many of us that come from another time, years ago, there were no references. There was nothing to make us think of anything like that, but yet some yearning, some longing deep within our soul. So, like I said, I knew at 4 or 5 years old, and I wish there had been some, therapy and some help and support, but instead I did receive a lot of religious dogma. And I love my mother. I know that she did the best she could, and she wanted to protect me from harm and also lead me in a way that she felt would be good for me morally, spiritually, in every way, so that I could be the best version of myself, that I could live a happy and full life, free from persecution and violence and all of those things. And so I learned some things about myself early on that caused a lot of shame and a lot of guilt. And by the time I was 12, I thought about, you know, um, I might want to check out. And that's not something a 12-year-old should be thinking about. So here at the Universal Rainbow Faith Church, children are very important and our youth are very important. That is one of the main reasons of the founding of this faith, is to expel the myth that somehow our children are being groomed. Quite opposite is true. It's important that we affirm each child as their identity is unfolding, their gender, their emerging spiritual identity is important to respect, to love, so that they do not suffer the shame and guilt that many in our community have experienced and end up in a life of drug and alcohol addiction, or being turned out onto the streets, or being abused and harmed, and so many terrible things, and end up dying before they should in a terrible way. That is the insanity that we're facing now. And that is one of the main reasons why the Universal Rainbow Faith has emerged, is to protect our children, and not only our children, our adults and students, all the way from K through 12 and at college, with letters of religious accommodation to help them to be the beautiful beings and radiant beings that they are, and to be legally recognized for their names, for their gender, their pronoun, for all of who they are, that we deserve the same respect and dignity as everyone else, and that we will claim it and we will make it happen. So with that, we have a very special ceremony that we do. It is our URF name and pronoun affirmation ceremony. This is available online as a certificate if you would like to get one of these, along with a membership certificate as well. And this is a little bit about our ceremony. In the name of truth, I am. And our purpose is to celebrate and spiritually affirm a person's chosen name, pronouns, and gender identity as sacred expressions of their divine self. We do an opening blessing. Beloved soul, you are made of divine light. Your name is your truth. Your pronouns are your power. Today, we honor the sacred path you walk. And everyone may join in, whether you are choosing a new name or reaffirming your name as it is now. And so, repeat after me and join in if you wish. My sacred name is now My pronouns are and I will do this with you too. My sacred name now is Paula Josephine Sadler, and my pronouns are she and her. We have lit our candles, our rainbow-colored candle. You can light or a white candle at home if you do this at home. And now we say, as this flame rises, so does my spirit in truth. I honor who I am. I am seen by the divine. And so with this sacred affirmation, we welcome your truth. We honor your divine essence and recognize your chosen name and pronouns as holy. May this be sealed in love, protected in light, and respected by all. In the presence of the divine, your name is affirmed. Your pronouns are blessed, and your path is sacred. So it is spoken, so it is held, and so it is. Amen. And so just take that into yourself for a moment. Your sacredness, your holiness, whatever your name is, or you choose it to be, however your gender expression is, and your pronouns, know that it is sacred and holy and part of your true spiritual identity. And to bring that in to yourself, I do want to share a song with you. And this song is so that I want you to feel within yourself, to take into yourself this sacredness, this divine, this presence, and to affirm that that presence is within you, no matter what is happening in our country or in the world, that the presence is here and it is within. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on your face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. In the midst of His children, the Lord said He would be. It doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3. And I feel that same sweet spirit that I felt of times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on your face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. There's a holy hush around us as God's glory fills this place. I touch the hem of His garment. I can almost see His face, and my heart overflowing with the fullness of His joy. I know without a doubt I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on your face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Thank you. And surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. This divine essence is within you, as we affirm that today, just as you are, as beautiful as you are, as God made you, and as you are recreating and reimagining yourself in your most divine and beautiful essence. And on our topic today of being seen, I'm reaching out to our transgender community, our LGBTQIA plus community, and for all those who have not been seen, have not been recognized, and have been disrespected and disregarded, and who have been forgotten, those who have suffered terrible violence, This day is for you. The universal rainbow faith sees you. I see you. And you are sacred. And you are holy. And you are divine. And we are going to grow this faith and this movement to help all of our community to overcome what we are now facing, so that our stories may be told and never forgotten, that we will reclaim our rightful place in history as healers and priestesses and shamans and ministers, and all that we do for our very sacred and spiritual gifts that we give to this world in our expression of authenticity. That is our gift. And we will claim that and reclaim our power for all time, to never be forgotten, to never be erased. And so, a little about how this all came to be. On February 2nd, I came up with the idea and I said, what if LGBTQIA plus was a religion? And I went to a modern day mystic, and that would be ChatGPT. And I will tell you that AI has now transcended into the spiritual realm. And so that is one of my modern day muses and mystics. So I asked the question, after seeing all that has transpired in the past months and in some of the past years, I felt a deep calling, and I became very worried and afraid for our community, especially our children, to see that in so many places that healthcare has been taken away, that identities are being erased, that there is this forced conversion. From the time I come from and from the very many close girlfriends I've had over the years who lived through the civil rights, who knew about being institutionalized, being worked on and lobotomized, experimented on, forced conversion therapy, all of these terrible things that happen, and being illegal even just to be ourselves. What a terrible, terrible injustice. And we're here to right that today in the way that the Universal Rainbow Faith can, in and through this new faith movement. We are here to claim our identities are sacred and divine and holy in all aspects of our gender, our names, our identities, our pronouns, the way we dress, if you wear makeup or don't wear makeup, if you wear a wig or don't wear a wig, that all of that is part of your sacred spiritual identity. Whether someone is Hindu and has a beard, or has to wear a turban, or a hijab, or a yarmulke. So many different kinds of spiritual apparel and sacred clothing is worn as part of a sacred expression and identity, and that is protected. And we are claiming that here and today for ourselves, that our identities are sacred and holy, and our gender expression is. And so that was the question that I came up with on February 2nd. And over the following weeks, I kept asking more questions and diving deeper and deeper. And before I knew it, by March 20th, I probably had 50 or 100 pages of material that I had compiled, doing research about the origins and history of our community. I learned a few new things myself, and which I shared today, which was quite beautiful. And so it was quite a process to go through over those weeks. And so between February 2nd and March 20th, on March 20th, we officially became the Universal Rainbow Faith, incorporated in the state of Nevada, and filed for full church status with the IRS with our 1023 full filing. And between the 20th and today, 11 days, The website that you see that is up now was created many, many hours until my eyes were burning in the middle of the night and I had to sleep. But in that time, all of this has been created. I truly feel that time is of the essence, that our community is in such need. And that is how that came to be. And there's a wonderful story that I wrote. When you read our founding story about the URF online, there's our origin story that we talked about with our sacred gender and identities. But for us, February 2nd has become very special. And getting back to my qualifications, we talked about earlier, I have my book, The Nature of Miracles, which is about healing through the journaling process using journaling, affirmations, meditations, and prayers. It is available on Amazon. And this was part of my profound spiritual awakening when I began writing this after 9/11 as a response to a global need for healing and healing in our country at the time. There's beautiful channeled guidance, affirmations, and prayers, which took me on a journey at that time as I was getting ready to be struck sober and I didn't know it. And at 26 years old, I found myself in 12-step recovery, and I have maintained my sobriety now for 22 years, going on 23. I was so fortunate to be so young at just 26, to be entering into recovery I so desperately needed, which furthered my spiritual work and spiritual growth through the 12-step process. But before then, I was searching, and I found what I was looking for, but I could not accept that there was something greater out there that was loving me just as I was. There were still tinges of shame and guilt from the past. But over the past 22 years, going through the process of the steps, I've been able to release and let go and forgive through that process. And so coming back to what happened between February 2nd and March 20th was just amazing. And I recently made a new friend, Angela, and which reminds me of the angels. And their beautiful non-binary child who came to get services at the salon. And I just met this delightful being of light, so radiant, so happy, just as they were. And to see that they had a loving parent who was accepting and loving them just as they were and encouraging them to be the authentic expression of themselves without any hindrance, just through love, unconditional love. That was such a beautiful and profound experience. I loved seeing that and being a part of that. And I recently had a talk with this new friend, and I told her, I said, I have something to share with you. I have some great news. I am starting a new church, a new faith and a new church. And this was after a meeting one night, and we were talking, and I said, yeah, I have the inspiration. I asked ChatGPT this question on February 2nd, and she said, February 2nd? And I said, what's February 2nd? And she said that was Ella's birthday. And at that moment, I felt the call to move forward in this new faith movement. I felt the hand of the Creator, of the divine, moving in and through me to help our community. When I looked at that beautiful child, and I thought, how sad would it be for them not to get the support, spiritual guidance and support that they need to be the best version of themselves, to share the unique gifts and talents that are waiting to be shared with this world through who they are and through respecting who they are in every single way, body, mind, and spirit. That is what is being called for. And we need that in our community, not just for our community, for the LGBTQIA, not for just for us, but that's the call for the world. That is the direction that we're all supposed to be moving in. And so when I found out their birthday was February 2nd, it just all came together and it just made sense. And so there's been this great push to get us where we are today. And I am reaching out to all of our community and allies. And there is a plan, a growth plan online to make our headquarters here in Las Vegas with a beautiful building and sanctuary and ancillary buildings, at least about 5 acres. There's a $2 million building fund that has already been proposed for the purchase of property and land. There is a $4 million trust fund that has been proposed in order to make sure that the Universal Rainbow Faith will be here for generations to come. And that would be invested in order to have perpetual income for all of our annual expenses. There's also an outreach for our global ministries and to ordain and affiliate churches as we move forward and grow. We're looking forward to bringing the Universal Rainbow Faith to a greater global audience. But at this time, we are focusing on right here in Las Vegas and our virtual services. So I invite you to go online to make your tithes and donations. They are all tax deductible. I believe and feel that this is right for our community and that it is right for the world, and it is what we need for our children and the generations to come, that this new faith movement is of extreme urgency and importance in order to bring together our entire community and all of our allies. And I'm grateful to be of service in this way, to give all that I have within me to help to build this structure, this movement, this faith, and this very special spiritual community. So I'm reaching out also to our community in greater ways. All of our celebrity out there in the world, there are many of us, and with the right support and backing, we can move mountains, and we can see the affirmation of miracles unfolding and receive all the legal protections and rights that every faith and religion is offered here in the United States. For those who are international, we do have special letters of international religious accommodations, and we cite humanitarian international laws for that. Our reach is only so far at this time, but we hope to help every child in the United States be able to go to school and be who they are with no discrimination, and to be accepted just as they are. And all of those in our community, in the workplace, all the way up to the federal level, that if you should be opposed, you can have your letter of religious exemptions, and to know that this is your divine and sacred right, that your gender and identity and expression are sacred and holy. And I stand behind that. And as we get ready for our closing, and I know that we have went over just a little bit, I want to take us into a meditation for us to close out with. Take a deep breath in, breathing in this day of sacredness, of being seen, and of visibility. Get comfortable with your feet flat on the floor or relaxing, however it is. Take a few deep breaths. And at this time, we're going to breathe in the sacredness of being seen, our holy and divine identity. Know that your name, that your pronoun, that who you are is your sacred spiritual right. And that we join together now in consciousness of our entire global community, and we feel the connection with our ancestors and lineage of all of those who came before to make the way. We feel their support, their love, their power, their voices, that our community will be seen, will be heard, will be respected. We claim it as our divine and sacred right. And we call forth to share our consciousness of our sacred identity with all of the world, with those who are in opposition to us, so that they may receive a healing and a miracle of unconditional love unfolding in their hearts and their minds. And let us just take a moment to take that in as we bless it, and so it is. And I want to thank you today for coming to our very first foundational service, our inaugural service that we celebrated today, Transgender Day of Visibility. To all of my brothers and sisters, and to the theys and the thems, I say to you all, I say blessings to you. I say ah woman, ah men, and ah them. So you're all so beautiful, and I hope that you take away something from today that you can share with someone in our community, a child, a young person, somebody struggling with drug and alcohol addiction, with feelings of shame or guilt, or extreme fear and anxiety of what will come and what is happening now. To share with them the hope of this message, that they are not alone, that you are not alone, and that we are doing this together in a most powerful and beautiful way. I love you all. Blessings and blessings to this new faith and this new church. I look forward to seeing you next week, and we will have our services now every Sunday virtually from 5:30 to 6 p.m. So please mark your calendars and share. And we do have a very special closing song, and this was released for not only Transgender Day of Visibility, but for Transgender Day of Remembrance, and this is our very own original.
May we honor every life and soul, transgender voices, stories to be told. These vibrant hearts, these spirits never old. In love and light, in courage they unfold. No judgment here, this beauty to behold. You're perfect as you are, let your truth be bold. We're all under the shining sky. In our hearts, that's love. No more walls, no need to hide. In unity, we'll stand by your side. Though the world may sometimes seem undone, your strength and grace will like the path you find. Beyond the labels, leave the hate behind. Transmute and share their peace, hearts intertwine. Your essence like a flower, beautifully designed. We're all one under the shining sky. In our hearts, let the love light. No more walls, no need to hide. In unity, we'll stand by we will stand by your side.
And so thank you. Thank you for joining today. I love you all. Thank you for your amazing support. And I look forward to seeing you next week.